Let's bring in the Hill media and politics columnist Joe Concha. He is also a Fox News contributor. First question, Joe, are you surprised?
Not terribly surprised. I was on with Bill and Dana on America's Newsroom, Hemmer and Perino, earlier in the week, and I had said that his days were numbered based on the conversations that I had with some fairly prominent on-air people at that particular network. And sure enough, here we are. Three things got the best of Chris Cuomo, John: ego, hubris, and a complete lack of a moral compass, which apparently is a thing in that family. Quite frankly, this act should have fallen months ago, when it was very apparent what was happening here. This was an anchor who served as a quarterback of Oppo research by digging up dirt on credible accusers of sexual harassment against his then brother governor. He also lied on the air. You just played the clip about the extent of the role he was playing in that regard. This is someone who also faked his own quarantine in 2020, even had a police report filed against him. So is anyone really surprised he lied again here? Female staffers and hosts at that network must have been horrified at the way this had been handled to this point. From a business perspective, John, Cuomo's audience down nearly 80% since the beginning of the year. 8 in 10 viewers gone. He was already finishing a distant third in a 3-horse race at 9 p.m. in the cable news race. Andrew Cuomo's legal issues also only getting worse as per recent reporting this week. The Cuomo name is officially toxic. And think about where the Cuomo brothers were in the spring of 2020, on top of the world with Keeping Up with the Cuomos, those long, extensive interviews that went viral. And these guys were as adored as Anthony Fauci or anybody else during the beginning days of COVID. Now look where they are now. A governor resigned, an anchor fired. It's hard to see Chris Cuomo where or how he'll work in this business again. Then again, the same thing was said about one Brian Williams, who was able to come back. We shall see, John.
Yeah, fascinating the way this is all transpired. You know, when it was announced that he was being suspended indefinitely, it so happened that Jeffrey Toobin was on the screen, who was himself suspended indefinitely earlier for some misbehaviors that occurred during a Zoom call. He was suspended indefinitely, but he got back on, and a lot of people were saying, well, if they'll let Toobin back on, they'll let Andrew Cuomo back on.
Yeah, Chris Cuomo. And that's what I was thinking, John. So when I was going back and forth with this, and trust me, I went back and forth many times as far as whether he comes back or not, I always looked at the Toobin precedent that the network had sent, as you said, doing what he was doing so inappropriately in front of female coworkers during a Zoom call. And then he still got a second chance. Or I brought up Brian Williams before. He got a second chance. And Chris Cuomo obviously was close with the top brass at CNN. So the thought process was, okay, here come the holidays, let him get a paid vacation for a couple weeks, and maybe he'll come back in January. CNN's media critic had hinted that that may happen just this week. It has not happened, obviously. He is terminated now, and for CNN, it was the only move they could make if they wanted to show that they still have some integrity left, that a red line had been crossed, and if they care anything about all the females that work at that network, that if you bring someone back like this, who again look to dox and smear credible accusers of sexual harassment, and you put him back on the air at 9 o'clock, what message would that have sent to everybody in that building and in this business, for that matter, John?
Yeah. Interesting, not far from where I live, the New York has built an expensive new bridge across the Hudson. It replaced the Tappan Zee Bridge, and that's what a lot of people still call it. But it was officially renamed the Mario Cuomo Bridge, supposedly in honor of those two brothers' father, the former governor. Yeah. And there is a move afoot. There's the footage of the Mario Cuomo Bridge and the Tappan Zee beside it before it was torn down. The Cuomo Bridge, there's a move afoot to strip that name from the bridge. We'll see if that happens. Joe Concha. Yeah. Joe, thanks.